Okay, so when I was little, I was very shy as a kid. So I really wanted to have some friends, but I just didn't know how to make them. So one day, my mom really wanted me to have friends a lot, and she saw this group of older kids than me. Like they're like 12, and some of them were 13, and I was only 7 at the time. So they introduced me to them, and well, I became friends with them. But there's this one girl that really hated me in that group. Her name is, alright, let's name her Mia. Mia was very rude and didn't care about anybody. She only cared about her most friend. She thought I was literally a menace to her life. So one time, Mia decided, oh, it would be a great idea to just use me. So she did. So one time when I was going to her house, and I was going to ask her if she wants some donuts. I went to her house. She looked in the blinds, and she saw me, and immediately she acted like she wasn't even home. She closed the blind, she turned off the light, she did everything, and I was in complete shock. I didn't know Mia was that mean because I didn't know she used me. So she didn't appear, and 10 minutes later, she sometimes, and when I knocked on her door, her mom came out, and she's like, "What do you need? What do you need?" And then I'm like, "Oh, I thought, is Mia home?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, she is. She's in her room." And I'm like, "Oh, I thought she's not home because the lights are all off." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't even know why they are." So then I went to her room, and I said, "Mia, why are you in your room? You saw me, and I saw you. So why are you in your room?" She's like, "Oh, I didn't. My mom wanted me to turn off the lights." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "Oh, sure." And then suddenly, her mom wanted me to go, so I went because they're about to go to a really fancy restaurant with their family for dinner. So when I went back to my house, I was totally in shock to see all my mom just thrown everywhere on the floor, put everything on the floor, like the clothes, everything. And I said to my mom, "Mom, why is everything on the floor?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I've been looking for my phone all weekend. Where is it?" I was in total shock, and she blamed me for it. So then I got really angry, and so I went on a walk. And Mia said, "Do you want to hang out?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she's like, "Can we go to your house?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." We went to my house, and she's like, "Can we go inside?" And I'm like, "Sure." Then suddenly, she went to the kitchen and grabbed literally all my stuff I loved. She grabbed all my snacks from school. She grabbed my mom's baking stuff and everything. For part 2.